Hi, this is Michelle with the yoga studio of Corpus Christi. I'm here to teach Sierra a few poses that should help leave a little anxiety and stress from being cooped up at home. All right, so as she sits, she's sitting on the edge of a blanket, which is tilting the top of her pelvis and angling it toward the floor. But she can do something else that will help her get a little bit of space in her hip joint and get pressure off of her knees. So I'm going to ask her to lift one side up of her bottom, push the inner thigh back and apart, and pull the flesh back. And then that should help take the pull off the knees, get the knees a little closer to the floor. And then we'll do some shoulder stretches. So I'll have you use a strap. And when you use the strap, I'm going to ask you to always grab the buckle. You need to know where the buckle is so it does not hit your teeth. I've literally cracked a tooth on that before. Use both hands to hold the strap. And so she has her arms out, stretched away from her. And she's going to pull that strap apart. And as she pulls that, she's going to do, and slide shoulder blades down her back. Perfect. From there, as she inhales, take the arms up alongside of her ears. Okay, without changing the strap, exhale, take it all the way back. Your arms will move like that. So give yourself a little more space. Stretch this out. Give it a good exhale. Ooh, all the way down. Yes. Hold that tension. Ready? Inhale, bring it up. Use your breath. And then exhale out in front of you. Again, inhale, reach. Should be easier this time. Exhaling all the way down. It's getting a little easier. Now inhale back up and exhale in front. Now she can work with this and start to tighten the grip a little bit and making it shorter if she wants more of a stretch, but we're going to keep it the way it is. So now I'll have her place her right hand onto the floor. The straight arm, and she's going to push that strap down. Taking the left arm, that's it. Stretch the straight arm, reach it back, slide your shoulder blades down the back. That's it. Does that feel good? Mm-hmm. That's a nice, deep stretch. And try to make it a little bit of a back bend in the upper chest. Shoulder blades down your back. And then inhale, bringing it back up. And then here we go. As we exhale, she's going to use the top hand to pull her up. And exhale over to the other side. She's going to put her palm down onto that. And then she might want to give herself a little more space so she can have a straight arm. And she's pulling the strap like she's going to break it. And as she does that, she's going to take the arm back behind her. Keep your hand pushing palm down. That's it. And so you can get that opening. Do you feel that? Mm-hmm. Breathe into that space. Use your breath. Deepen the breath. And then when she's ready, she's going to use the top hand and she's going to push through her seat. Inhale, bringing it back up to the top. Great. And then you can release the strap forward. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to have her come off of the blanket. I'll take it out from underneath her. Lay onto your back. Place your feet onto the floor, hip bone distance apart. And this is it. So bending your knees now. All right. Now, as she bends her knees, she's going to bring her feet in. All right, arms alongside of her. Push your feet and your arms down to lift your hips up. So I'm going to use a block and I'm going to place it underneath her sacrum. So as I come in and I place the block onto the sacrum, I'd like to keep a pelvic tilt in there so when you come down, tailbone up toward the sky. Bring it down slowly. How does that feel? Good. So this should feel amazing. So we're looking for the sacrum, push down, lift up. And I'm going to scooch it down just a little bit and do that same pelvic tilt on the way down. Better? Mm-hmm. So we'll check and see if then that's in the right place for Sierra. So I'll ask her to bring her knees over her hips. And just stay right there. It should be absolutely no work. Does that feel good for your low back? Yeah. Yeah, so this is great back pain relief. The low back if you've been sitting at your desk or computer all day. And just, this is an inversion, so the hips are higher than the heart. Extend your legs up to the ceiling. Should be no work. So instead of like them working so hard, I'm going to say bring her a little bit more forward and let her just hang there. Is there any work for you? A little bit? Okay, put the hands, the feet down. Push your feet down, lift your hips up, and we're going to scooch it. It's like the eyeglass doctor. You just, the millimeter will make the big difference. Knees over your hips again. Go slow, feet up. Is that easier to maintain? So that's how you'll know you're in the right place. If you're having to work to keep the legs up, then the block probably needs to be slipped down just a little bit. So just playing with that. Now this is a great pose for restorative yoga because it is a shoulder stand which has so many benefits in it. It's the hips are higher than the heart. So now she's not getting blood flow really to the legs. It's draining all the fluid from the lower extremities, which is extremely rejuvenating to the legs when, it's not very often we get the reverse gravity and do this. So now as she has the legs up, she can do this with the legs up on a wall, but I'm going to ask her to really be mindful of the breath that she's taking in and exhaling it out because she has the perfect opportunity to really oxygenate the blood and get the blood in the best shape that it could be to come back into her legs. So just simply breathing, inhaling, feel the belly rise, and then when you exhale twice as long as your inhale. That's one, a very calming breath, but as she inhales all the way in, and then we're going to ask her to exhale and out twice the time, exhaling out and in. And then slow your breath down and just make each breath really count. Every inhalation full and every exhalation complete. The exhale is how she will get rid of the toxins. Is this uncomfortable for you? No. Good. So now her legs might start to feel like they're going to sleep. This is a pose that you would work the amount of time up in, but this is so helpful if you have anxiety, depression, or insomnia. You can just take this pose for a little while. And then when we come out of the pose, we come out slowly because we're going to return the blood flow back into the extremities. So what I'll have her do is bend her knees and have her calves parallel with the floor. And she'll hang out here for a moment. And there's a slow return of blood into the legs. And then as she is here for just a moment, then I'll say, put your feet onto the floor. So there's more blood returning back in. And she stays on the block for a moment. Then you never want to just jump up from this point. You want to make sure we return slowly. Push your feet into the floor, lift your hips up, and just push the block out to one side or the other. And then when you bring it down, do the pelvic tilt. Tailbone up toward the ceiling, bringing it down. That's a nice little thing. And then she can step her feet mat distance apart. I'm going to have their pinky toes on the edges of the mat. And from here, she's just going to windshield wiper side to side. If she wanted to add on to this, she could take the arms up alongside of her ears, holding on to opposite elbows, and let the weight of the elbows go down. And so this is a great stretch for the front muscles in front of the hips. That's where the hip flexors are, and we hold so much tension and stress in the hip flexors. This is the muscle group that gets tight when a dinosaur is coming to eat you. But we don't live in the world where dinosaurs are coming to eat us anymore, although there's a lot of tension or stress, especially right now. So you have to watch out for this muscle group that gets really locked tight because it'll cause rounding in the low back and cause lots of low back pain. So then from the top of this, I'll have her inhale, and as she exhales, taking both knees over to her left side. Taking her left ankle, I will cross it over the right thigh, and then she's just going to let the weight of that stretch the whole right front hip, maybe even toward the back side a little bit, and just breathe. If it's too much with the arms up over your head, feel free to bring your arms down alongside of you and just be here. But this is a really nice stretch. It actually takes 2 to 3 minutes to get into the deeper connective tissue. So where you're holding on to chronic tension, tightness, and stress in these muscle groups, it takes some time to hold the pose, to breathe into the pose, and to revisit this often. It won't happen all in one day. But when she comes out, you have to be very careful because the low back is sensitive. First, she's going to uncross the ankle, place the foot down back where it started. Then she'll inhale the right knee up, followed by the left exhaling. Inhale here, and then as she exhales, going over to her right side, which is going to stretch the left side of the body. Placing the left ankle over the right thigh, and it's just the weight of it is like taking the energetics from the front hip, and it's energizing, and imagine an arrow reaching from the knee and keep going. And as that does that, it's stretching the front of the left hip. So she can have the arms up over her head, she can have the arms by her side, but she just staying in this pose, and then if she concentrates where she feels like the most pull, she can actually guide her breath into that space just energetically. Wherever her attention goes, the energy flows, and we want to open up the energy in this area so that it can start to respond to the stretch that we're putting her in. So conscious breathing, directing the breathing where you want it to go, and getting the maximum results from doing a posture like this. So as she inhales, and every time she exhales, she's just thinking about letting go of the tension or stress that's built up in there for years probably. And as she does this, then we have to be careful when you hold it. It's 2 to 3 minutes holding time, and then she would uncross the ankle, put the foot back down, and then starting with the left knee, inhale that up, followed by the right, so it's not too much pressure on the back. And then she can draw both knees up into her chest, tailbone down, and she can just hug herself for taking a moment out of her day to recognize that she might be under a lot of tension or stress, having to learn all these new things in our social distancing. And anyway, glad that you are here. I hope this is helpful for you in some point during this time. Thank you.